welcome back to the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 Spring 2020 tournament. We've got Amazon, Morgan, Freefarm versus Google Cloud players today. Again, this is from week 7, so it's a few weeks ago now. Week 8 just happened, and the playoffs are around the corner. They're actually happening tomorrow, so I'm very far behind on casting games, but I've got this game left in week 7, and then my own game that happened. This was being played on 7.26, and that was 2 patches ago now, because there's been a new patch every week, so this has been pretty wild so far from OS Frog. So probably see some older heroes. I will say this is there's probably a really big skill difference in these two teams right now, so I think this game is going to be a little bit one-sided, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of fight Morgan Freefarm could put up. Google Cloud players has like multiple immortal players, so that's it's pretty rough for them. I'm just gonna say this now, but hopefully, like, they can come into it with like a decent strategy. I mean, like, realistically, individual skill is, like, even though this is a team game, like, individual skill is very important. Like, I don't know, it's hard. Try and make this game as exciting as possible. This draft is not taking too long so far. Let's see.
Only 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Hurry, hurry. Dire's banned.
I feel like we don't see Faceless Void first phase that often, but it is a hero you don't really want to deal with. I'm thinking more and more about banning Faceless Void in the first phase, just because my team prefers like I prefer like a run at U line, kind of like OG style. Obviously we're not as good, but kind of like this more active play style, and Faceless Void can really punish you for overextending. Maybe this is a strategy Morgan Freefarm might try out. Night Stalker ban is very interesting. I think this hero is not very good right now. A lot of the times you just get dumpstered in the lane because, you know, it's daytime at the start of the game. Connell picked up for Morgan Freefarm. This hero is very good right now. I think this guy's stocks are a little bit through the roof. Just, it gives you so much. Just infinite mana sustain, tons of team fight with the ultimate. I will say one thing that is that the ultimate cooldown is kind of long, and you don't really have much impact in team fights without the ultimate, so it can sometimes feel like a bit of a dead weight if you don't have your ultimate up. So it's very timing dependent on this hero. Whereas Jakiro is like the complete opposite, right? Jakiro, his spells are always up. Macropire is like a 60-second cooldown, so it's just always available. You actually use it a lot to shove waves, and then like the other 3 spells, which is mainly Ice Path and Dual Breath, are good enough to participate in team fights. But I'm personally not that big on Jakiro right now. I think this hero is kind of underwhelming. At least I just haven't had a whole lot of success on Jakiro recently. Shadow Shaman is going to be the other support, and I don't like Shadow Shaman at all right now. So I'm interested to see if Google Cloud players will have a good showing on these supports. Shadow Shaman probably will be the position 4 here. This guy hits like a truck, 75 base damage, and 140 damage ether shocks at level 1. So this Cuddle, if this is a position 5 Cuddle, it's going to be a rough lane. They can still pick Bristleback, which I think is a pretty common pairing. They're going to go with Witch Doctor instead. Well, they normally see Cotto as position 5 for the most part, except if it's like you're in an off lane where it's really good, like Bristleback. But I feel like Google Cloud players can just ban Bristleback now, and this is like an okay Bristleback game for them. Like, these two supports don't really do a whole lot against Bristleback. They're gonna ban the Troll instead. which is interesting.
Radiant team
It's going to be a Witch Doctor 5, I think. So Witch Doctor Troll is a pretty scary lane to go up against. And a Pango picked up for Google Cloud players. They have a very active lineup, I will say that. They don't have a whole lot of ways to start a fight. They don't have like,
10 seconds to
well, they have Shadow Shaman who will eventually pick up a Blink, but he doesn't really have a natural farming tool, unlike a lot of the really popular position 4 these days. So he's gonna pick up the Blink pretty late, and a lot of the times you really want to go for that Aether Lens first on Shadow Shaman instead of Blink. So their initiation is a bit light. I would like to see some initiation from Morgan Freefarm, but I'm not really sure what the good options are here. They could pick, in fact, Axe could be okay for them, and you can spam that Battle Hunger, maybe get 2 points. Maybe that's a little bit too wild. So you have this Coddle, right? You want to pick a hero who goes well with the Coddle in the lane, because Coddle by himself is pretty trash in the laning phase, so you really need a good partner. They're gonna go with Clockwork. I mean, it's not bad with Coddle. To be honest, Clock has a lot of mana issues, and it does get resolved by this Coddle pick. So he will be pretty active in terms of kill potential in the lane, but this is an offlane Clock. You don't want to just like focus on getting kills the whole time. You need to actually farm. So
hurry, hurry.
I think this lane is not very strong. They're going to pick the spec on Google Cloud players. That's just going to punish this Coddle Clock combo, because there's not a whole lot they can do to kill this spec. If he cogs the spec, she's just going to dagger out of it. So this is pretty rough for Morgan Freefarm, not gonna lie.
Only 10 seconds.
The spec pick is pretty good here.
5 seconds remain.
A lot of the times when you first pick, you get this final pick in the second phase, and also if you're second pick, you really want to pick your mid last. Like that's like the real benefit of getting last pick is having a winning mid matchup. But it sometimes means that it's going to cost you the side lanes, because now first pick has the counter picked here. So one thing they could have tried is like picking their carry in this third position and picking a stronger offlaner to punish whatever safe lane comes out, right? But they didn't really give themselves that option. They picked the safe laner already, so they know they're going to be up against Shadow Shaman Pango. It's possible you'll see like position for Jakiro, but I think like you really want to put Shadow Shaman in that position, give him a little bit more farm and XP, because he needs a lot more than Jakiro does. In terms of what kind of carry can probably beat these two, I mean, Troll would have been great, but he's banned out. PA for themselves is banned out too. I think that would have been okay. They could go for like the other extreme and go for like an anti-mage, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. Ursa's got to be the pick here. I think Ursa's okay, but he is just gonna get like kinda like he's gonna get shackled. He's gonna get disarmed. It's not the easiest lane for Ursa. And Witch Doctor, he's okay at holding people down. At least he can cancel the shackle. He'll need to save the cask for that. But I don't. Unless there's Pango like oversteps, I don't really see them being able to get kills. So the Shadow Shaman is going to be really the only target here that's viable. I think Pango's going to have a pretty okay lane overall. I don't know. I'm actually not that big on Ursa right now either. Maybe I'm just like bad, but like I can't figure out how to make that hero work. You just have to like hit your timings like very specifically. It's like, okay, like take the T1, go for Roche, go for more objectives. Like you have to kind of play a perfect game on Ursa. You can't really afford to mess up. It seems like they want to push the tempo, right? They've got like a bunch of really low cooldown heroes. maybe like this Will-O-Wisp is going to be the longest cooldown. We're going to see some like double power action going on as well. But they don't really have anyone to hit towers on the side of Morgan Freefarm. So this last pick, they need a tower hitter. The Google Cloud players ban OD. I think Pugna could have been pretty good for them. They're going to go with Viper instead. Trying to get some break onto the spec. But you don't know what you're going up against now. And I feel like they could probably just go Husker. At least like from what I've seen recently, Husker versus Viper is like becoming more Husker favored, because Viper doesn't have the bonus damage on low HP anymore. Alright, gotta go with Wind Ranger. This is I mean, this is not an easy matchup for Viper either. He's definitely Viper. You want to like dominate the lane, and then take over the game from there. But Wind Ranger, she's just gonna pop Wind Run like every few seconds. The cooldown is really short on that spell for some reason. I think it needs a bit of a nerf, to be honest. But to be fair, Wind Ranger is not in the best position right now. I don't think you can dodge Death Ward attacks with Wind Run. I'm pretty sure evasion doesn't work. But I am not sure about that. I mean, I could definitely see some big Death Wards, but then this Pango is gonna cause a lot of trouble. I don't know if this Witch Doctor is gonna be able to get good Death Wards off this game. I don't know. I think overall, like, even like skill level aside, this spec is not really well answered, right? Like, they don't really have a whole lot to like gank this spec. Like they have the clock, but then like the only follow-up is a Witch Doctor Cask, and Specs is just gonna be able to dagger out of there. Alright, well, let's hop into the game. Oh, we've got on the side of Amazon Morgan Freefarm, we've got Blue Jay on the Viper, FS on the Ursa, Born on the Clock, Kingbjorn on the Keeper of the Light, and Zillidan on the Witch Doctor. On the side of Google Cloud players, we've got Yuzu on the Pango, Coronavirus Patient on the Spec, LSTM on the Chikiro, JC on the Witch Doctor, and some name I can't read on the Wind Ranger. I think he's I've seen him in like the lobbies, and he's also called like President P in like in Discord. His username is President P, so I'll probably call him. I think this is President P. I'm not really sure. I'll get flamed by random people. And a pause. 1S. Okay, so it is going to be a position 5 Coddle. I mean, it seems okay. We might see like an early point in Earthshock, and then Ursa can really go ham with it. But again, I'm not really sure. They can kill the Shadow Shaman, maybe, but like the Pango, I don't think is going to die unless he like overplays his hand. No, dropping an Observer Ward right in front of their faces. I don't know if they saw that. Although the inventory space is empty, so that's potentially something suspicious. You know, if he has 2 though, so this is like the double bait, right? He's got 2 empty inventory spaces and then the clarity. Like, I don't know, did he actually drop the ward? It seems like he did. Like Zillidan like overplayed his hand. This guy, he dropped his observer ward, and it's like he's got an empty slot in the first slot, so like he definitely used an item.
Now, murder each other for my amusement.
But I don't know if they saw where he dropped it. I mean, LSTM has a sentry. It's probably going to like try and fish for some information. If you stand here and like the Shadow Shaman hits you through the trees, and like you know there's a ward. Oh, it's not Shadow Shaman, Witch Doctor. You know there's a ward there. he drops the sentry early and doesn't get it, so a wasted sentry for LSTM. This is also a very interesting opener. Windlace on Jakiro first. This doesn't seem terrible. He doesn't have move speed issues. He wants to... Oh, wait, everyone has a Windlace this game. We'll point out that this is the patch where boots still gave percentage move speed instead of flat, so... Alright, the battery assault comes out, and this is a miserable time to be a Jakiro. You can't cast any spells while you're being battery assaulted, but you will manage to get it off. Coronavirus patient tanking some of that battery assault.
I love magic tricks, Rasta. Show me another.
Oh, they get the ward. JC's gonna deny it. Oh, the big boy, the big brain plays. That's very unfortunate. Kamian didn't even get the money back on that. And he's gonna maybe pull the next wave. The wave's pushing in, so Kamian needs to pull this next one. Actually, snags that, Okay. The pull's gonna come in for LSTM. Yeah, I mean, I just don't really see how they're gonna stop this spec from farming, right? Like, she's already going at this Witch Doctor. No points in Desolate yet, but the two-man dual breath as well. The cask is available. You need to not stand together. I can go catch up here. Mid lane seems like Wind Ranger's crushing it. 10-3 versus 5-3. This is, I feel like, not really the easiest lane for a Viper. And FS's courier gets taken down by the Ursa, so bit of... Oh, Kangbian, you can't win this trade. The Shadow Shaman hits so hard, and you only have one armor on the Coddle. Like, sure, you've got Blinding Light, but it costs a lot of mana. He doesn't have enough mana for... He doesn't have the levels for Chakra yet. FS taking a lot of damage. The Shackle comes out as well. There's no Swashbuckle to finish up, so I don't think they'll get this kill, but doing a lot of damage, and there's no salve available for FS either. See, Windlace is on the way for the Coddle. Oh, LSTM, he's trapped in the cogs. He can't do anything against this, the Clockwork, and he might actually go down here. The Maledicent comes out. Coronavirus Mission picks up first blood, though. LSTM, he will eventually die to this Maledict. Maybe one more tick? No, he lives with the Tango. Oh, that's the worst outcome for them. Getting interrupted as well. This is also not really ideal, right? Because now that the Dire are gonna get more experience from getting these neutral camps as well. Alright, Arcane Rune for the Wind Ranger. A level 2 Shackle, level 2 Wind Run. That is interesting. I suppose, like, she doesn't really need Shackle Shot in this lane. The cooldown reduction is, I guess, kind of nice. The extra duration is pretty good as well. You can go for, like, a longer dive. Once you hit level 6, this Viper needs to be careful once this Wind Ranger hits level 6. It's going to be a pretty scary lane for him once that happens. There aren't that many heroes that can, like, really deal with Wind Ranger at level 6 once she gets focus fire, and I'm not really seeing the ability for the supports on the side of Amazon to turn it around. Like, Coddle can TP in and get a Blinding Light, but you won't get like a turnaround kill. This is a big part of shutting down the Wind Ranger early on. Level 6 is approaching for Wind Ranger. 5-minute bounty runes. Looks like it's going to be... Oh, all 4 going the way of Google. Wait, maybe... No, Viper can't pick up any. He's stuck. by his tower. So it's gonna be all 4. And already a 2k gold advantage. Zillidan will be too late to the punch. Usually, like if you aren't able to get the first one, it's pretty likely that you won't get the second one. So I think that's like a bit of a waste of time. Like at that point, you should just try and pressure the spec a little bit more, even though it is pretty difficult, even without the Jakiro, to pressure the spec. All right. Okay, Wind Ranger is 6 now with an Arcane Rune popped. Try and throw a cheeky power shot, nails the Viper here. Viper, I guess, is fairly tanky with 3 points in corrosive skin. This, interesting. No one really goes this build anymore on Viper. It's more about the poison attack these days, but perhaps. Oh, Yuzu gets a kill on Kangmia. I feel like this was really popular for like 3 patches, and Viper was like picked all the time. And then they changed it so it like scales over time, and it also made it so you couldn't stack it anymore. You couldn't stack multiple nether toxins on top of itself, so no one really goes for this nether toxin build anymore. And Wind Ranger, see if she wants to go for the dive. She's gonna continue poking away at this Viper, who does have a salve, so it's not gonna be the most effective strategy, but it's not a big deal. Like Viper's not really getting that much farm. Viper's not doing Viper things, which is like really taking over the lane. Another power shot comes up. Blue Jay needs to be careful here. The focus fire comes out now. Uphill misses, but Blue Jay, they turn this around. The Viper strike comes out, but he will end up going down, and the invis popped as well. The Viper strike not going to be able to finish off the Wind Ranger. And the Javelin's coming out now. This lane is going to be very difficult now. Every time this focus fires up, this Viper is going to die. So, I think Clock is doing okay. He's level 5 now. Once he hits level 6, I think he's going to need to try and make some plays. Try and kill the Wind Ranger, because they're not going to be able to kill this spec. Bot lane, the Rolling Thunder comes out, runs into this thing here. Oh, they need a poor man shield as well. A swashbuckle will finish off Yuzu. Google Cloud players, they're just dominating the lanes. It's poor man shield on the ground, not really doing a whole lot. I don't think they saw it. It's nighttime?
One of me ain't enough.
Alright, Viper, I think he might die again. He gets too frisky. Oh, the chase in, now the focus fire comes out. Blue Jay's in a ton of trouble, pops the wind run now, and Blue Jay is going to die. Oh, yep, this game's looking pretty rough for this Viper. The good news is he's going for this like nether toxin build, so he like potentially can catch up in the jungle, which is why like this build was really popular when like mid one like really brought it to the scene. It's just like it's fine if you lose your lane, just drop the nether toxin, clear the wave, and go farm some neutral camps. It's interesting that he didn't like he put three points in the corrosive skin instead of just maxing out the nether toxin. That is a bit perplexing. And FS, he might be in a bit of trouble here. He uses the Earth Shock to get out of the way of the shackles. Born is level 6 now, so he can probably get a solo kill on this Jakiro. But I think this Wind Ranger is probably the bigger target. Can they kill Wind Ranger? If they get the hook with the cogs on top of the nether toxin, I think they could definitely kill this Wind Ranger. And instead he's gonna go for the hook shot on Jakiro. Nice easy kill for Born there. 10 minutes coming up. Not going to be able to get this outpost back in time, and he actually dies for it. So double outpost going the way of Google Cloud players. So no experience. They really needed that. Their supports are really far behind, right? Level 5 on the Witch Doctors. They can pick up his ultimate with the Tome. But Kangbia's only level 4. He's not going to have Will-O-Wisp for a really long time now. And Wind Ranger's made it way top. Not even gonna need the Focus Fire. And Clock is going to die now. The Focus Fire is gonna come out and Born's dead as well. There's nothing to really stop this Wind Ranger right now. Nice Blinding Light though, but there's another Power Shot available. We'll finish off the Clockwork. A pretty good rotation for the Wind Ranger there. And it was all under an Arcane Rune as well, so we'll have these abilities back up even sooner. Spamming those power shots. Viper's TPing mid again. Oh wow, okay. Penguin went down? Death Ward? That was the reveal for double six, so nice rotation from Zillin in there.
Radiant structures are fortified.
See, Clock has Hook again. I'm not really feeling like he's probably gonna go for this Jakira again. Let's see if he can get this hook shot. But he misses. That is, I do feel like this is one of the problems with Clock, is that if you miss any of the hook shots in the early game, it definitely can feel a bit rough if you're not already winning your lane really hard, which, I mean, he's doing okay, but Spec is level 8 with the Necro Book as well, the Eternal Envy Necro Book, and a Boots of Travel as a fast follow. This is like pure NA Dota in its finest. The problem is there's not really a whole lot to stop this Spec to punish this Spec for it. The rest of his team are winning pretty hard already. MKB going to be the first item for Wind Ranger, so going all out on the deeps here. Illusion picked up as well. Hood picked up for Pango. I think it's a pretty decent item this game. It's the Maledict and Viper Strike. The ping has come out. I think Zillin got spotted by the he got spotted by the ward, but also potentially by the outperson. They're not gonna be able to catch Yuzu. They don't really have the lockdown for it. I'm not sure if you like swashbuckle into the cogs if you get interrupted. I think you probably like complete the animation, but you get pushed back anyway. Like you get pushed back at the end of it. It's unclear. I don't really know what the interaction is, but I'm pretty sure you can just swashbuckle out of the cogs. Alright, Zillin gets ward trapped and he's gonna die here. The shackles as well with the power shot, and Serpent Ward's going to take this mid tower. Not even going to use the focus fire, using the illusion to tank the tower as well. The next creep wave should arrive to keep these Serpent Wards alive. Although Blue Jay, he's slowly farming them down, getting some extra money. But this tower is going down for sure. Can I get the deny? Oh, I was trying to go for it but missed it.
Middle tower has fallen.
Pipe coming up next. I really appreciate Pangolins who build offlane items. Every Pango I see like just tries to play mid, and a shackle onto the Ursa. Kavian still doesn't have his ultimate, and Ursa's gonna get blown up. Spec shows up now with the ultimate, and Kavian almost goes down. No special dagger to throw uphill. And Blue Jay, are they going to try and go for more? The cast comes out, but it doesn't bounce to anyone. Viper Strike comes out, but Blue Jay, oh, nice two-man shackle from the Wind Ranger here. And now Viper's going to die as well. The hook shot misses. This is a complete disaster for Amazon. They're just going to feed one by one here. Zillin also uses the Death Ward, doesn't get anything out of it at all. This Spec just shrugged it off. Oh, yikes.
Radiant's bottom tower under fire.
Invisibility.
Yeah, I think Dota Plus probably thinks like Spec is Dota Plus usually favors Spec, but like this is already at 100%. It's like only 15 minutes into the game, so this game is even like Gaben has decreed this game is pretty unwinnable for Amazon. I don't know. I think like I said it in a previous game. I'm not big on these like. I mean, I guess both teams have it. I'm not big on like having two position 5s. Kind of like you think of Witch Doctor and Coddle both as position 5 heroes, and same with Shaman and Jakiro. But I'd say like of like these 4 heroes, Shaman as a 4 is definitely like has a lot more potential than the others. Like the other heroes don't like need farm to do anything. Like it's great, but like it doesn't. It's nice to have, but like you could have farm on a more impactful hero. Like, you know what? Viper gonna get blown up here. MKB's done now as well. The Will-O-Wisp comes out, but there's not much follow-up. This is gonna kill this Will-O-Wisp, it seems like. Not much to stop it. 100 gold as well. And Yuzu disarms the Ursa. Now Ursa is in a bit of trouble. Pops the Enrage, but it's not really that effective against the Pangolier because he constantly is stunning you multiple times. And FS will go down beyond godlike on President P. And this game's a bit of a yikes. And Yuzu getting the 2-man swashbuckle. Bond's gonna get instantly blown up. The Death Ward comes out, but it gets cancelled by the Ice Path instantly. And LSTM will get the kill on Zillidan here. I heard a Viper Strike go out, but it's just on the Wind Ranger. They don't have any follow-up damage. Another Shackle comes out with another Focus Fire. Another kill for this Wind Ranger, and it's probably time to call GG, to be honest. Like, you don't have the late game either. There's nothing to look forward to in this game, right? Like, you're up against a Spectre, and you just have this Ursa and Viper who both need to win the lane really hard.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked. Radiant's top tower is under siege. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
So we'll probably see Google Cloud players probably close out this game soon. They gotta drop. They probably don't need to drop wards for this. Like, there's no Coddle ulti for 24 seconds. They should know that there's no Coddle ulti for at least like a little bit more time. The Coddle blast will come out, and Wind Ranger gets a 2-man shackle. Coddle gets instantly blown up, and the swashbuckle as well is going to stop anything, any counter initiation. Viper gets blown up. Ursa gonna get blown up as well. The wards were dropped. We're gonna be able to take these towers. The Spectre doesn't even have like Spectre items, right? There's no Radiance, there's no Diffusal, there's no Meta. Like, it's just like it almost doesn't really matter what he went for this game, right? That's what this build is telling me, is Bits of Travel, Necrobook. JC with a completed Aether Lens and the level, he's not quite level, he's not close to level 15 yet, but once he gets that, it's like even more cast range. This Hex cast range is already quite huge, so with the Shackle cast range. This draft from Amazon is very all in on the early game, and they just got crushed in like all 3 lanes, so that's it's not really a position you want to be in. Viper Strike comes out now, but a Shackle shot will stop this Viper, and hey, the Death Ward actually misses on the Wind Ranger. Coddle ulti comes out, but not gonna do a whole lot. Okay. Witch Doctor's still like falling into the ground. Oh.
Radiant's middle tower is taking damage. Dial's bottom tower is being attacked. Radiant's middle tower is being attacked. No more middle tower for Radiant.
We'll probably see this game end fairly soon. The Serpent Wards get dropped. They can probably take 2 laser frags here because there's no Coddle ultimate, and that's like really their only team fight, right? Like, they don't really have a whole lot else.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And the Rolling Thunder's back up soon as well.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Oh, the shackle on the siege creep, and Witch Doctor almost getting taken down. The hook shot on top of the hero will buy some time, but this, wow. The anti-combat user getting stuck in the cogs, and just gonna dive the base now. Wind Ranger, can she get more? Oh, that was a big MKB proc.
Barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is being attacked.
What? Random observers. That was definitely a whole like fiasco about having observers in the game, but I don't know what's going on here. Amazon have observers in the game? Alright, GG is COD. That was definitely a bit of a stomp, for sure. That was rough. I don't really have much else to say about it.